Hi there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, how to include or exclude part of visualization. So this is very useful. Let's say you don't want a part of the visualization not to be included or excluded. So in that case, you can remove it from the visualization or just make sure that only that part is included in the entire visualization. So we'll see how we can do that, as it is quite straightforward. But before that, just a quick information that this sheet is present within the description. So if you want to jump to any previous tutorial, you can jump directly. That is specific to Power BI. But if you want to access any of my videos that I have posted so far on my channel, you can go to this link, which is again present in the description, which is the live report, where you can search, like here in this case, we have these titles. You can search any title by unchecking here and searching the Tableau, let's say for example, and enable this just to make sure that all the Tableau related tutorial will be given to you. And with this link, you can directly jump. You can search for a specific tutorial as well. So this link is also present in the description along with the Power BI specific link. However, the Power BI is also, you can search it from here as well. Okay, so let's move on to the Power BI and see it in action. So here we are within the Power BI and we have, let's say, this visual, which I have used in my previous video as well for viewing the data of the background of the visual. Now let's see, for example, this particular part of the visualization. I don't want this particular part specifically just to show it over here. Maybe let's say that is impacting my contribution, because sometimes what happens is there is this one category which is so influencing. For example, here in this case, regular is like 50% of the data. So if you have a situation like this where you don't want a particular category to be part of the visualization because it is impacting the rest of the visualization, then you can remove it. So what you can do is right click over here, and the option is present here, include or exclude. So once you click on exclude, what you will see that only that visualization has gone, right? But the rest of the chart is not impacted. So here in this case, even in the furniture, the same visualization, part of that same visualization is present, but QPAC is not present here. So if this is what you want, you can do this by simply right clicking and say exclude. So now in this case, from furniture also, QPAC is excluded. Opposite to that is including. So if you want only this part of the visualization, which is Ontario, you want to just include that. So it will going to show you, it's pretty straightforward, like it will only show you this part of the visualization which is included as the one that you want to highlight for your users. So that's very quickly about how you want to include or how you can exclude the visualization if they are impacting your visualization a lot, or if you want to make an impact by just showing one single one, like in this case. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video, the new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new tutorial where I will going to show you how you can have the different filter types. So we have three different types of filters, which is the visual filter, which is specific to a visual. You have the page filter, which impact all the visualization that is present in the page, and page all filter, that means all the pages which is present in your report. The filter impact will be on all the different pages. So we will see these three different types of filters, so you will have no problem applying it whenever you want to apply based on your custom needs. Now this sheet, where I am keeping all my Power BI specific tutorial, you can find it in the description, and based on the title and the link given, you can jump directly to that particular tutorial. Also, if you want to search across my channel, then you can come to this report link, which is a Google Data Studio report link, and from this search you can uncheck, type the search, and then check it back to filter the visualization. For example, if I want only the Tableau specific video, I search the Tableau, enable this, come out, and will show you all the Tableau specific tutorial, which is quite a few, 234. So let's go ahead over here and see this particular visual filter. So just wanted to provide you a quick info if you want to look for some more tutorials. Alright, so here we are within the visualization, and I have this filter pane which is enabled for us. So by default you have these three panes like the field, visualization and filter, which we get it from here as a part of the default setting when you open up the Power BI. But if you don't see it, you can actually go inside here in the view and make sure this filter is enabled. So if you uncheck this, the filter is moved. Maybe in your case, if you are not getting it by default but you want to bring in, you can just click on filter and the filter is coming. Now let's select a visualization. So we'll select here this visualization. So what it has is the three fields. You have the product category, so filter in this visual present as product category, region which is part of the visual, and the sale based on which the values are populated or graphed on this particular chart. Now let's say you want to have a filter which is specific to this visualization. For example, we have the customer segment. So what we can do is bring it over here in this section, which is filter on this visual. And now let's try to make a change. So when I'll make a change, you will see that only this particular chart will going to change, not rest of the chart. So if I change it to consumer, you will see only consumer is changing. If I change it to home office, small business, or whatever change I want to make based on the filter, only this visualization will change. So very helpful in scenarios where we want to have an impact of a filter only to one particular visualization which is present in the page. Now let's clear this visualization filter from here and remove it to move on to the filter on this page. So this entire page should be filtered based on the filter present here. So what I'll do is bring the customer segment and put it over here. Now if I select consumer, you will see that all the visualization will be changed. So if I select consumer, you see the impact. Similarly, if I choose the corporate or home office, all the visualization present in this will going to change according to the filters or the selection I'm making. So this is about the filter on a single page. But you have the third option, which is filters on all pages. So what you can do is bring in the customer segment over here, and this filter is now going to filter visualization present all these different pages. So if I just select consumer, you will see that this is going to be impacted. So for example, from here, if I choose corporate, you will see that this visualization is changing. Same is the case is going to be here. Similarly, if I come to the scatter chart, if I select small business, you will see that visualization is changing on each and every page. So this is a very helpful section which is useful to filter at the various different levels that we need for the purpose of our visualization development or the dashboard development. So that's very quickly about the different level of filters which you have in the Power BI. And I hope by now, after this, you will be able to do the right justification with your visuals based on the needs you have from your business. So now I'll meet you in the next video. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video. And in this tutorial video, I will show you a quick tip on how to change the aggregation or calculation type in Power BI. In previous videos also, I have shown you a bit of an ad hoc level as to how you would change, but here we will take a fresh aspect to it and go a little bit into the detail. Alright, so what we will do is create a chart or the table chart or maybe the matrix chart where we can take a couple of fields and see how we can change the aggregation. And before I do that, just a quick information that this sheet is present in the description. So if you want to jump on to any of the previous video, the title and the link is present so that you can easily search all the previously posted video, and I keep on updating the links. Alright, let's move ahead to the Power BI and see it in action. Alright, so here I am in the Power BI, and what I need is, let's say, a table chart over here, and I'll just expand this a little bit. And what I can take as the product subcategory as the field where I can show you the dimensions. Then we can change the sales, and we can take the profit, we can take the discount, we can take the order quantity. Now if we will observe this, you will see that a visualization is being created, slightly small. So maybe from the formatting we can go and change the values formatting, maybe the font size, if we just try to increase a little bit so that we can easily see. All right, I think this should be sufficient, right? Okay, so this is good, where we can see the value. We have this titles for which is not displayed. Again, the title information is given over here, not the title. I guess this should be your column headers. Column headers, again, we can increase it from here. So just a little bit of aesthetics that we may want to play with. Okay, so we have this information, and the aggregation information is present here. If we go back to the field section, and in the field section, what do we have is basically the sales. And if I want to change the aggregation, I can just click on this small drop down button, and whatever I want, I can choose this. So maybe in this scenario, the total sales, total profit makes sense, but the discount does not make sense. So what do you have is, if I just select this again back to display the fields, the discount here in this case should not be sum, because that will going to sum up all the discount which is given on each order. But ideally, in this case, the right metric for this is the average, right? So what is the average discount which is being given? So now you see the situation is completely changed, where continuously, I think that's a practice which has been followed in this data set, or maybe in this company, since it is a fictional, so not using the real term, but maybe in the real world company, the discount behavior is that 5% discount is on an average is given on each and every product. Okay, now similarly with the order quantity, so this is showing you the total order quantity. However, this is fine, but generally you may want to see it as the average quantity. Like you can take the average and you would have the average of the quantity over here. So now we have sum for profit, sum for sales, sum for profit. We have average discount, and we have average order quantity, and we have changed the two different aggregations. But what if we want to also see the minimum and maximum order quantity? In that case, what we already have is the average order quantity. We can bring in this field again over here. Order quantity is present here. I'll just expand that, and what do we have is the order quantity, from where we can choose the maximum. Okay, so I'll just hide this. I'll hide this as well, and what you will see is we have maximum order quantity. So across the product subcategories, the maximum order quantity that we have is the 50. But what is the minimum order quantity? So what you will going to do, either you will change this to minimum, but if you want to have a separate field, again you will bring in the order quantity, and you will see that you will find the minimum as well for the each of the product sub-product category. So minimum is 1, maximum is what the 50 is. So this is generally an information we may want to give that to our management as to what is our average order quantity, what is the maximum order quantity, what is the minimum order quantity, and that will going to help us understand the behavior of the sale based on the data that we are collecting. So once we have this information, we have a couple of more things over here. Like for example, we have the count, standard deviation for those statistical scenarios, the variance again used to understand the measure of variation, median in case your data is skewed or your data has outliers, the median is the right value. But this is a whole together separate topic to understand when to use average, when to use median, and when to use mode. Also, we have one more thing as show value as no calculation or percent of grand total. So if we click on percent of grand total, what you see is basically the percentage based on the grand total. So here in this case, everything is 100%, does not make a whole lot of sense. So what we can do is come over here on the profit, show the value as, and we'll change to the percent of total. And now if you see the percent of total, and if we just sort this, by clicking over here. So we have the maximum profit in telephones and communication with the 20.86%, and the loss making category that we have is the table. So now you see how the perspective have changed, that suppose you have the profit as well as the percentage. This will going to show you where you are leading, where you are lagging in terms of percentage, because with the percentage you can compare two categories very easily. Like we can clearly see that 11% is far more better than 0.44%. But if we have a value, let's say this is 1 million and this is 1.1 million again, this will not tell us a whole lot of things, right? So that's why percentage is very helpful. So these are some of the important calculation types or measure changing the aggregation type I wanted to show you. Along with that, the functionality that you can bring in one field multiple times in case if you need this for your user or for your end users who are requesting you for this information. So that's about how you would going to change the aggregation as well as going to take multiple fields based on your needs of the analysis. Now I'll meet you in the next video. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, where we will going to look at how we can create hierarchies in Power BI. So hierarchy is an important concept, and within Power BI you have the chart which by default takes the hierarchy once you have more than one field available. Alright, so let's see how we can create and use the hierarchy once we add more than one dimension value. And before that, I'll just show you that the sheet is present within the description so that you can look at each of the video that I have posted as well as its link, so that you can jump directly onto that link. Alright, so let's move on to the Power BI. So here we are within the Power BI, and in the Power BI what we will going to first take is the bar chart over here. So if I take the bar chart and I'll take the one dimension which is the product category, and second dimension or second measure is basically the sales. So what do we have is the sales and measure, and generally the drill down is not available. If I just try to click here, nothing will going to happen because the drilling down information we have not added. So what we will going to do is we will going to add the product subcategory. So if I just click it over here, it will put it in a legend by default or the legend by default, but I will just move it on to the axis. Okay, so once I move it on to the axis, the chart is back to the same visualization which we were having earlier. And if I try to click at this time, nothing will going to happen again, because we need to enable the drill down, and to enable the drill down we need to come over here, and you can see from the highlighted text that you need to click here to turn on the drill down. So we will going to click over there, and now the drill down is enabled. So if I come back and I'm interested looking into more as to office supply is being the lowest category, so what are the sales which are driving it low, or what are those categories which is driving low in the office supplies? So I'll click over here, and you will see that at least from the categories which are present over here, these are the categories where the sales are pretty low, and maybe one of the reasons as to why your sales or your main category is low. Now to go back or going back or leveling up one level up, you can come over here, which is more like drill up. So this is about going to a specific section like technology. We can see the relevant categories, right? And we can come back to the main visualization or the original part of the drill down. Now if we want to look at all the categories of all the different categories that is present here, then we can click over here, which is go to the next level of hierarchy. So if I just click it over here, you will see all the categories that is related or under into the main category, which was like technology, office supply and home office. So that's basically the entire drill down and drill up structure is what you have within visualization, and based on the visualization type you are choosing. So for example, here in this case I am choosing, let's say, metrics. So the bar chart is now changed into the metric. So if we go up, you will see the same three dimension value with the respective measure value. And if we click on any of the visualization, that will be enabled. And same is the case that if I click here, it will show all the dimension or all the sub product categories where we want to look at the sales. So creating hierarchy, as you can see, is a very simple and straightforward concept. We can just keep on adding, like after product category, we have product subcategory, and then we can add the product name also. So what it will going to do, that if I want to understand what is going on in the bookcase, I can click here on the bookcase, and all the bookcase related product name which we added just now is enabled for us, and we can see the sales value for each of the book sales. So that's about how you can create, enable, go up and down into the hierarchy, which is useful to look deeper into the data to better understand what are those categories which is driving the impact for the measure of interest, like sales, profit, or anything else. So that's about it, and I'll meet you now in the next video. Hello there, and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial. And in this Power BI tutorial, I will going to show you how you can work with the subtotals. So that's the topic that we have, and this spreadsheet is present within the description. If you are looking to jump or search through the Power BI tutorials that I have posted, and here you have the link to view it directly as well. So let's see how we can customize total and subtotal. First of all, how you can see the subtotal, and then we can customize it. Alright, so for that, let's jump into the Power BI. Alright, so here we are within the Power BI, and what do we have is the table that I have shown you in one of the previous videos as to how you will going to create the metrics. And based on the product hierarchy that we have, like the product category, product subcategory, product name, how you can enable the drill down. So as you can see, drill down is enabled, and earlier we have seen that we can go to the next level of hierarchy. And over here, as you can see, you don't see the subtotals. What you see is finally the total. So how would you see that? So to enable this, what I'll do is first move to the highest level, which is the product category here, and I will jump here, which is expand all down one level in the hierarchy. So what it does is, along with the main category, it expands to one level down in the hierarchy. So if I just expand this, you will see that main technology is present, which earlier was hidden if we have used this option. And now under technology, the various subcategories are coming, their respective value, and the total is also present for the technology. So this is a way by which, first of all, you will enable, using the one level down hierarchy option, you will enable the subtotals, and finally the total. And once you have enabled this, you can go inside the formatting, and within the formatting you have the option of subtotal or this section. Now right now it is enabled, but you have the option of disabling it. If let's say you just want the heading but not the subtotal, in that case it's quite straightforward. You will just disable this, and what you have is pivot table sort of a style where you have the main category and their respective subcategory. But if you want to enable it, just again straightforward option of enabling it. What do you want to call the row subtotals label? Right now, what you have is the default total, but you can change it whatever you want. Then down there you have like font color. If you want to change the font color, font family, background color, if you want to make it something like this one, you will change this so that it is clearly highlighted for you as to what as a separate label than the normal label, that it is subtotal or it is the one level up total present here. And the same setting you can apply to the labels if you enable this. So this will become like more interactive, but again it will be different for your company as to what color code you may want to choose. This is just for demonstration I'm showing you. Where do you want the row subtotal? You want at the top or you want at the bottom? So if you have at the bottom, then only the total is coming. So that's the reason this row subtotal value will going to change based on the whatever value you are changing. So right now it has total. Whatever you will going to change meaningful from the business perspective will going to come over here, and you can update it accordingly. All right, so these are the settings that you can have. And per row level is something that you can customize at the per row level. So for example, if I just enable that, nothing will going to happen. But if I disable this, you will see that the grand total is gone for the product category. Similarly, if I just hide this or uncheck this, then a set subtotal at the product category level, you have disabled it. So we can enable and we can get the total and the grand total for this. But again, down there you have the option of grand total as well as to change their font and settings, but nothing related to this total and everything. So that's very quickly about how you can manage the subtotals and totals based on the various settings which is present over here to help you give more control over here. Now, I definitely feel that there could have been something better. Say for example, furniture subtotal as one of the requirement, or maybe technology subtotal, something like that. We could have it as more like the expression, right? So here row subtotal label should be something where you should have given the flexibility, and I think hopefully in the future versions you will be able to get it, just so that you are more dynamic when you want to define what the total or the subtotal should look like to your end user. But that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new tutorial, Power BI Bookmarks. And Power BI Bookmarks is an interesting feature which allows us to bookmark based on the analysis that we are doing. For example, if based on some selections we want to save the analysis, then we can do this with the help of the bookmarks. Also, bookmarks have some innovative uses as well, which I will show you in a separate video. But here I want you to introduce to the bookmark feature, which is in the Power BI, and make the basic use of it so that you have multiple analysis saved based on just one single dashboard for your user, which may be very helpful. Let's say if you are giving a presentation, you don't have to make all the selection, but you just pre-select all the analysis, like multiple analysis based on multiple selections, and just present it in the front end. And this sheet, before I move ahead, just wanted to show you that this sheet is present in the description, which you can see or access to jump directly onto any other tutorial which is present here, and I have posted earlier on the YouTube with the link information and title information. Alright, so for bookmarks, let's go into the Power BI. Alright, so here we are in the Power BI, and to enable the bookmark section, what you need to do is come here in View and enable the bookmark. Now, I'm using the most latest version of the Power BI, so my bookmark is enabled here or present here. If you're using the previous version, you may have to look into the option, I think in the file and in the options and settings, there is setting related to the bookmark for the previous version. That's where you need to look at. I think preview features is the section where it is enabled. All right. So let me enable the bookmark over here. So this is the bookmark section which is now enabled. So here a quick commentary is present as use bookmarks to capture key data for yourself and others. Filter data to get the state you want to capture. That means it is a state-based capturing of information. And why it is important? Let's say you are preparing for a meeting where you want to show, based on the regular air, how much orders or how much sales is happening. So in that case, this is just a very simple example, but things like you have regular air and couple of more selections, and you want to make sure that you are doing those selection in advance and saving those selections so that you don't have to do those reselection within the meeting. And sometimes it happens we don't even remember. So in scenario where you have to do multiple selections and save it, do the selection first, click on the add over here, and here from these three ellipses, more options, come here and rename this and say regular air sales, right? Similarly, let's say you made some more selections like express air over here, and maybe a couple of more selections based on the filters that is present to you to do a comparison between two. You can come back here and click on add, and then again you can click on rename, and here we will say express air sales. So this is just an idea I wanted to give you, that I am just doing one selection, but you may have multiple filters and you want to do multiple selection and want to save it over here. Now, let's say we have a meeting and we have opened our this application and we want to look at how our regular air sales looks like. So based on whatever selection we have made, 4, 5, 8, 10, we can just click over here and all those selections will appear over here. Similarly, if I select express air related analysis that we made, that analysis will come over here. So this is very beneficial from the perspective that as an analyst or as a developer, you have created like multiple views and you want to take now the feedback from your end user, whether all of those views, all of those analysis is fine, and you can save these analysis as an entire list, maybe 5, 8, 10, 15 different views, as to go through and finalize if everything looks fine. So that's very quickly about the bookmark. But as you can see, you have a couple of options like the update, rename, delete, data, display, current page. So main important is the rename, delete, and update. Let's say we have this is like regular sales, but we also want a delivery truck as well. So we have the delivery truck and regular air, and the way we do multiple selection, I hold down the control key and select the second selection. That's how I've done the multiple selection here. And now I can come over here on the regular sale and I click on update. So now if I come to the express air, you only have express air. But if I come to the regular air, since I have updated it, you have delivery truck and regular air, which we can rename here as delivery truck / regular air. We can expand this little bit so that it is coming fine. So that's about how you can save the state, or you can save your work based on the analysis you are doing for multiple scenario perspective, and make sure that in the meeting you don't have to remember all the selections which you need to make to convince your end user about your analysis. Everything is done previously based on whatever you have done here in this dashboard. So that's about it, and now I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, number formatting in Power BI. So number formatting is very important for the right display of numbers within the Power BI. And in this tutorial video, I will specifically talk about how you can go inside formatting and then apply different types of formatting that is available to you within Power BI. And this sheet is present in the description if you have landed first time on my channel, where you can search for any previous video with their respective links that will help you jump directly to the video. Alright, so let me now go into the Power BI and give you an input about it. Alright, so here we have a table that I have shown you in the previous video, and that's about the subtotal and total that we have created. Now if you see, the numbers is pretty hard for a normal person who is like at a senior level and just want to quickly understand how the values really look like, because right now the one has to do an exercise that this is 2.1 million, this is 794,000, and down there this is just 38,000. So it's basically, we are asking them to put more effort rather than quickly consume the information and move out with, let's say, some decision or some action or some direction that they want to give. For example, what they want to do with labels or rubber bands where the sales is pretty low, or do they want to have a different strategy on Office Machine since the output is quite high. So in that case, we want to give them a good experience from numbers perspective so that easily and quickly consume the information. And to do that, we are here in the formatting section. And what do we have is basically field formatting section where you need to come and choose the field. So right now we only have sales, but if you have like multiple fields, you have a drop down to select from. Once we have selected the field of our interest, we can go inside the display units. We can change this to 1000. So now it will change to the 1000. As you can see, it becomes quite easy for them, then use it. Or let's say if you want to change it to millions, but in this case it becomes really hard for them just to understand what is going on over here. So you can you can basically experiment with this and see which makes sense. So in our case right now 1000 makes sense since our business is only that much large. Now we have the option whether we want the decimal places or not. So if you just see that I have changed this to a decimal place, and this is helpful in only on those scenarios, for example, where it really matters. Right now it does not matter a lot because the value itself is pretty large. So if it is 2.1 million, 0.66 will not going to make a huge difference. So this is an unnecessary information that we are giving it to our end user. So what I suggest is reduce this. This will be useful in scenarios where you are showing the discounting information, where you want to know that 5.37 discount you have given, 8.5 discount, 0% or 8%. That basically makes an impact since the value is low, and having the 0.5% of additional discount is impacting your revenue. So in that scenario you may find it useful. Or like profit ratio, like from 10 to 10.5% can be a significant shift from a profit ratio. So that decimal value makes sense in those scenarios. Alright, so coming back here, what you have is also the font color. If you want to change the font color or the background color. Alignment is also one interesting thing because many people want to have the different level of alignment. Some people want it like the left, some people want center or right. However, by default for numbers the alignment is right, and for text alignment is left. Okay, but if you want to make it center, we can make it center as well, because many times I've seen people are asking for the center alignment because that beautifies the table sometimes. Similarly, we can apply this to our header. If you want to apply to the value, or don't apply to the value, we can enable or disable it, apply to the subtotal and apply to the total. So that's the formatting that you can do, which is related to the field formatting. Down there you also have the conditional formatting to further use as indicator to show it to your end user. So like based on the sales, so you want to change the background. So clearly if you will see, I've just enabled that, and wherever the sale is high, it is changing it. But you have the advanced control where you can see that based on the field, which field you want to use. So I don't want to use sales, maybe I want to use maybe the profit ratio here in this case, right? So if I just say click OK, you will see that value is changed, where this is having the high profit ratio, this is having a high profit ratio, this is having the high for a profit ratio, but from sales perspective it is low. So that's the reason it's not advisable to use the same value sales for displaying it and conditionally formatting it, but a different value, like here in this case profit ratio that I've used. So definitely this is an area where they may want to have a more energies because sales is high as well as the profit ratio is high. Then down there you have more options which is more related to whether you want to data bars, whether you want icons or web URLs, which I will show you in a separate video when the information is relevant for these perspective, because these are useful, however require a slightly different setting and slightly different topic to cover that up. So that's quickly about how you can format the fields and do the conditional formatting for the better understanding of your table. Now I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, where I will show you the Power BI drill-through configuration, which is helping in connecting multiple reports via the drill-through functionality. And I'll show you in just a couple of minutes how you can configure and use it with the help of some small steps, which is just drop down within Power BI. And before I do that, this is the sheet which I am using, which is present in the description as well, and as you can see the title and the YouTube link is present in case if you want to search for any specific tutorial, also if you want to follow along with this sheet. All right, so now let's go ahead into the Power BI and see the Power BI drill-through configuration. So here we are within the Power BI, and these are some of the charts. If you are following me with each video that I'm posting, then you may be seeing that these are the charts that we have created so far. And what we will going to do in this video is based on the main category that is present. So here, technology, office supply and furniture, we want to link a separate sheet, which is in this case, let's say ribbon. So what it has, the ribbon chart, nothing but the ranking and how the ranking has been over a period of years. And based on the selection we are making in this chart, we want to filter this particular chart so that whenever user wants to have an understanding, okay, this is my overall category of technology where the sales or profit ratio or profit that I have, but how does it look like over a period of years? So these are some of the scenarios which you can encounter where you may need to have two reports created, or you may have two pages linked via this drill through. So when you click here, you should move on to this particular page, and this visualization should be filtered only for the selection that is made on the page number 1. Alright, so how we can do that? We will going to see two different examples so that by the end of this video you will have no issue doing it. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and move to the ribbon. Suppose these are the two visualization you have created for your reporting or analytics that you are preparing, and you will going to select this visualization. Once you will select this visualization, down there you will see the drill through option. And when you see the drill through option, you may want to add, or you need to add, the drill through field. And in our case, it is the product category. This is basically the three different product categories that we have, and we want to make sure that these are available over here. So if I just select this, and from here I will going to choose the product category, and before that I'll just bring this up a little bit, product category, and I'll bring it here. Now if you see, these are the three product categories: the furniture, office supplies and technology. Once we have this, we don't have to make any selection over here, but keep it as part of the filter and keep the default option on as to keep all filters, and cross report is off. But here in this case page, we are in one single report, it will going to work fine. So let's come back to the page 1. So over here, if you see, I hovered over to the mouse, so it shows that tooltip, and down there in the tooltip it also shows that there is a report, or there is a page, not report, but yeah, there is a page which is linked to it in this existing report. So I'll right click, and this is the option that we get. So based on where that page is, it will going to take you. So I'll click on ribbon, right? So now you see that ribbon is now filtered only for the filter that we selected, and here is the technology filter and its relevant product subcategories, right? Similarly, if you see office supplies, if I right click, drill through, click on ribbon, you will see the ribbon is now filtered for the office supply. So that's the amazing functionality which it provides, where in the main report you have the higher level categories which you want user to have further drill down or drill through based on those categories that is present. And it's not just that this particular visualization will going to take it. If you see this visualization, technology, furniture and office supply, if you hover your mouse over here, you will see the same message down there on the tooltip. Right click to drill through. So we'll right click here, and even in this case drill through will be present. So wherever we have these categories present in the visualization, the drill through visualization will be enabled, and we can go and just click it over there to come here. So now you see the product is technology. Okay, what is the case with the other chart? So if I hover my mouse over here, in case of sales by shipping mode, so say shipping mode is express air, delivery truck, regular air, nothing is coming, right? Because we have not used ship mode field in any of the visualization. So what I'm going to do is come here on the waterfall chart that we have previously created, and here in this visualization I'll just select this, and in this visualization what I'm going to choose is the shipping mode. Once I choose the shipping mode over here, let's see the magic that is happening on the page 1. So now you see that the same message on the legend, right click to drill through. So now probably you have got the idea that based on that main category which is present on your first page, if you have the related visualization on the second or on the third page, you can establish a relationship to give better visibility to your end user. So I'll just right click on the regular air, click on this and waterfall. In these cases, for product categories, we were getting the ribbon chart, but in this case it will going to take the waterfall chart. So I'll just take the waterfall, and over here all my visualization, the waterfall chart is now filtered based on the regular air. So that's the amazing functionality you get when you have the ribbon. And if I come back to waterfall, you will see this icon is now enabled, which is Control plus click here to go back to the previous. So I am holding down my control key and I'm clicking over there, and I am now back to my main page. So that's the navigation is also present to assist the user to move back to the main page. Now generally the natural question is that what if I want to do more than 2 pages? So for example, what we have is the scatter chart over here, and what if I want to do a drill through here as well? So in this case, what we can do is we will select the visualization to make sure that we are doing it right, and we have the product category and drill down option. What I'll do is choose the product category and present it over here. So now let's see what is changing on the page 1. So if I just right click over here and click on drill through, now I have 2 options. I have ribbon chart and I have scatter chart. That means you can actually link more than 1 pages, which makes sense. Maybe have like proper business language over here to guide the user what sort of analysis or what sort of drill down they want to do based on the relationship that you have established between these pages. So that's very quickly and with the help of 2 examples that we have seen, how you can take an advantage of drill through, because there are always multiple scenarios, multiple analysis that user may want to run, and you can actually help them understand it from various perspectives. For example, in this case, product category, you may have sales chart, you may have profit chart, or you may have multiple dimensions even in the profit. So you can actually have all of these options here and make it linked so that your user is always having the flexibility as to move on to where they want to move, or where the analysis is present, which makes sense from the business perspective. So that's very quickly about the drill through option, how to work with the drill through option and utilize it within the Power BI report to make your Power BI report having the relationship established, multiple pages, as well as enabling the user to do way much better than just with the 1 normal page. Alright, now I'll meet you in the next video with the new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, where I will show you how you can create the relative dates within Power BI. Relative dates is a relatively concept feature, as it shows like in last 7 days or in last 2 months or in last 2 years, what is the value that your dashboard is having, or your sales, your profit is having. So let's go into the Power BI and see it in action. And just before that, a quick information that this spreadsheet, the Google spreadsheet, is present in the description. So if you want to look back any of the previous videos along with the title and link, you can view it and jump directly to that video via this link. This will going to help you easily use the search and find feature to move any tutorial that you want. Also, you can use it like your learning repository as well for Power BI. Okay, so let's move on to the Power BI to see it in action. So here we are within Power BI, and there may be a situation that this filter pane is not enabled. So you may need to come into the view and click on the filter. If I again click, it will be hidden. If I click again, it will be shown. So it's like toggle on and off. And this filter pane allows us to produce the relative filter. Now what I'm going to do is for the entire page, I will just pick the date. So date is present here in the order date. So I'm just dragging it over here. Right now, the filter type, what we have is the basic filtering. That means each individual dates that is being given to us, we can select individual dates and see what is basically happening over here. All right. So I'll come just here and clear the filter. The other option that we have is the advanced filtering and relative date. So we have relative date and relative time. So we don't have time information here, but we have date information here. So we will going to choose the relative date. And relative date shows the power of relativity. Like for example, in the last 2 years or in the next 2 years or in this, and then you can choose the right criteria. So in the last, and we will going to choose what we want. So if I just uncheck this, include today, this will make sure that I am not including today whenever I am choosing it. And if I want to include, I will just enable it. Okay, so in the last, I would say, let's say for example, 10 years, I want to see last 10 years worth of data for my dashboard if my dashboard contains that data. So if I'll just click on apply, and if you'll see the information is updated. If I choose last 9 years, I'll click apply and my dashboard is updated. So this depends on how much data that we have. So my data is basically ending here in 2012. That's why I've chosen this big field. However, if you see, the data is taking a range of 11. This is 4th of November 2011 to 3rd of November 2020. That means the last 9 years worth of data. So this is the great feature which we have, and we can choose like the days, weeks, calendar weeks, months, calendar month, or calendar year. So days, the difference is that you have sometimes fiscal weeks, which company follows for their financial reporting and analysis. But then you can choose between those values which you have for financial year or for the calendar weeks perspective, which is from January to December. So that's the great feature which you have, and I wanted to make you aware that you can use it for either for the entire page or maybe for all the pages if you bring it. But if you want it for a specific visualization, you need to select the visualization and put the field here if you just want to filter a specific visualization for maybe last 5 days, last 10 days, months and all. So based on where you are putting it, either at the page, all page, or on this visual, you will going to get the effect, and the updated visual or updated dashboard or entire report will be updated based on your filter positioning. So that's about it in the relative filter tutorial, and I'll meet you in the new tutorial with the new topic. Hello there and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial, where I will going to show you the Power BI advanced filter, which is helpful in specifying the condition that we want to achieve. For example, showing the data between 2 dates or for a specific date which is maybe greater than or equal to the given date that you want. So all those features is present in the advanced filter, and we're going to see it in a minute with the help of an example. And before I move ahead, what do I have over here is the spreadsheet. There's Google spreadsheet, and this contains all of my tutorials which is related to the Power BI in a searchable format. You can search and you can jump directly using the link provided. So just to help you to easily access all the tutorials, which I know sometimes difficult with the help of the playlist or searching it on the channel. So with that, let's move ahead and see the advanced filter within Power BI for dates. Alright, so here we have used in one of our previous example the basic and the relative date filtering, and within this drop down what do we have is the advanced filtering as well. And if you're wondering how it has come over here, so let me just close this. So we have the section filter on this page and filter on all pages. That means whatever filter I will bring it here will going to filter this page, and if I bring any field over here as a filter, we're going to filter all these different pages which is present in this report. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll bring the order date on this filter, which is filter on this page. And if I drop it, you will see that you are getting the basic filtering. But what about moving it to the advanced filtering? Now the value is gone and the couple of condition has come, like is not, is after, is not on, is on or after, is before, is on or before. So all of these settings will going to help us. And finally, is blank and is not blank. In those scenarios, let's say we are looking at some category or dimension values, for example, country field is blank or country field is not blank, things like those, or date field is blank, date field is not blank. Scenarios like those to understand where we have the null values or the missing values. Okay, so what I'll do is I will put that is after, and I'll just go back to previous years, and I'll just use this arrow, up arrow, to move back to January 1st. Yeah, so why? Because I have the data which is ranging from 2009 to 2012. That's why I have gone back. Now I have two conditions. I'm going to ignore this time because we don't have a time dependent information. So we'll go with the default settings here, and we have two options, and or. We will going to just see in a minute how they impact. So first we will start with the and. So we have is after. So 1st of January is after. Now if we choose is on or after, in this case it will going to include the 1st of January, but if we just choose is after, it will not going to include the 1st of January. So what I'll choose is on or after. That means any date which is on or after the 1st of January 2010. Now let's bring the and condition first and say is on or before, and we're going to choose, I'll just click here to go back to the year mode, and using the arrow I'll just go up till, let's say, 2011 December 31st of December, and click on apply filter. So once I click on apply the filter, you will see that date which is on or after 1st of January 2010 and is on or before 31st December 2011 is basically selected over here. So what does it indicate? If I move, let's say, from and to or, how does it change? So let me just select the or and click on apply filter, and you will see the value has been increased significantly, in this case almost like double. So what you have, if I could show you, maybe by going here and changing the values by increasing the value size a little bit. Is it increasing? No. Okay. All right, it has increased. So what do we have is 1.5 million. But if we come over here on the end, we click on apply filter, what does it show is just 742,000. So what does it indicate is that based on the orders that is placed on or after 1st of Jan 2010, and that means exclusively on, specifically on these dates, then only show this, otherwise not. However, when you click on or, it takes all the dates which is coming in between of these two dates. And just to show you very specifically, what I'll do is I will click is, and here also is. So what it will going to do, I'll just choose the and click on apply filter. So right now it is not showing you anything because maybe no order is placed on these two specific date, which is having the same value. So what I'll choose here again very quickly is on or before, and click on apply filter. So now you will see only just couple of values which is either on or before these dates, and the value is also pretty less. That means it is mutually exclusive sort of an event, and basically reduce the data for you to have it specifically orders placed on these two dates. However, or will going to consider all the values that is between these range. So if I just click on apply filter, you will see the same value which has been coming. So depends on what do you want, will going to give it here, or you need to specify it over here. Maybe initially it will be a little frustrating as to you will not going to get the result, because understanding and is something which is difficult. However, our mind works like or, that means creating a date range sort of a situation, and probably you will going to use most of the scenario with the or itself. So, and it's the nomenclature or how it has been specified that we usually say either the date is this, and we expect that we should get this entire result, but that's not the case. You will going to get this entire date range with the help of the or, and that's the catch over here. which I wanted to show you between these two options. So that's about it, how you can utilize. I recommend that you play with this little bit just to get yourself properly acquainted with this and or condition usually used in the programming, but since it's been used here, I think it's worth highlighting what they do, and basically reduces the data a lot based on the given, takes the data only on these given dates. However, or is going to take the multiple conditions or sort of a range in these scenarios and find out all the values which is true for you. So that's about it on the advanced filter, and I'll now meet you in the new video with the new topic.